I wanted to take a minute and go over a common problem on a drum sander that I really haven't seen addressed elsewhere. It's gouging in your panels, and gouging is differentiated from end snipe in that it's not occurring in the first or the last 4 inches of the board, but kind of is that same type of defect intermittently along the board, and can be really frustrating if you don't know what's causing it. So here are 5 things to check, and the first 2 are actually to do with the spring roller bars. And then you want to check the tension and tracking of your belt. Those 2 kind of go hand in hand. And then the last 2 are to do with the tables. I think my favorite upgrade for the 1938 has been this enclosed lower base with sliding doors. So I'll put the how-to video link down in the description if you want to check it out yourself. First thing to check is your roller bar spring pressure. So there's little roller bars to the front and back of the large sanding drum, and how much downward pressure kind of affects whether you're getting snipe or gouging in the middle of your board. If I shine a light down there, you might be able to get a glimpse at those roller bars, but they just exert light downward pressure, and so we'll need to adjust that. There's 2 screws on each end of the machine. So on the open end, there's one here and here. And what you want to do is set uniform pressure there, and to establish where we're at, we'll gently turn that clockwise all the way in until it stops. Machine is unplugged here, of course, but then we'll back each screw out a uniform number of turns. I'm going to go 4 complete revolutions backing that out counterclockwise. So we'll go ahead and do that same adjustment on all 4 screws, and that'll be a good starting point. So the second step to fix the gouging issue is to set the roller bar height, but I'm actually having a different problem as well, which is a longitudinal line down along boards that I have to sand with a 2-pass method. And for that, I'm actually going to do a drum alignment quickly, but it's kind of related to this roller bar height, so we'll get to do both in one step. So loosen up these screws. There's 2 at the front and 2 at the back, and that'll let us just raise up those roller bars temporarily to get those out of our way for the drum alignment. And I would say loosen all 4, otherwise it just doesn't seem like it wants to raise up too well. Get that last one loosened, and then we'll raise them up and snug those up temporarily. There we go. Tighten that back up. Then with a couple of freshly planed blocks that are the same thickness, just run that drum down, and you can see which side contacts first, or hopefully they come down at the same time. And I don't know if you can see from your vantage, but to me it looks like the open end of the sander is coming down very slightly before the other side, and that could be the issue with that line I'm developing. So at the open end of the bed, there's 4 bolts that you need to loosen. These are 5mm Allen bolts. Just loosen those up enough to permit some movement, and then there's an adjustment nut right in the middle there that we'll use to dial that in. So a 7/16 inch open end wrench will get it, and just kind of turn that towards the front of the machine, make small adjustments, and recheck at the drum. Just make sure that the fast lever is in the up position like it'll normally be. You'll only have it in this drop position if you're doing wide panels that need 2 passes. It's pretty tough to see on camera, but as you do your final check, just make sure that the drum touches those blocks at the same time, or just slightly before on this inboard side, and you should be in good shape. Tighten up those 4 fasteners, and that'll complete the drum calibration, and we'll move on to what I'm calling the second step on this current problem, and that's just to adjust the height of those spring roller bars. Okay, loosen up those 4mm fasteners, all 4 of them, 2 on the front, 2 on the back, to drop down those roller bars again, and then you'll run the whole drum down to be able to set the height of those roller bars. Make sure they're loose. Sometimes they don't really come free until you loosen all 4 of them, and that's the trick. There we go, we're all the way down. Okay, nothing too difficult so far. Now we'll just run that drum all the way down to be able to set the correct height of those pressure bars. And I just kind of pay attention to that bolt and to see if there's movement relative to the casting, and you start to see some movement there. Okay, there, I'm all the way down. And from that bottom position, what you want to do is raise the drum up a set number of revolutions. Usually it's 2 to 3 revolutions. I think I'm going to take it up 4, so I have the maximum lowering of those roller bars, and that's what I need to prevent that gouging. Okay, so we're going up 1, 2, 3, 4 revolutions in my case, and then retighten all 4 screws. This one's a little bit tough to get to when the drum is this low, just because your IntelliSand control box is in the way, but just take it bit by bit and snug that up. And last one on the open side of the drum. Please do me a favor and raise up your drum before we go on to the next step, which is tension and tracking your belt. And hey, speaking of favors, if you like today's topic, give me a quick thumbs up or consider subscribing to The Thoughtful Woodworker. So I feel really good about that spring roller bar now. I will say though, if you feel like you've increased the downward pressure or put those in a lower position and you now develop snipe, what it means is that there's too much downward pressure on the bars now. Too much pressure causes snipe, too little pressure causes gouging in the middle of the board, so that's kind of how you know where you stand. Just confirm that you're up off of the conveyor, so nothing's going to get damaged, and we'll go ahead and tension and track things, and that's a really easy adjustment. It's just kind of like tuning up a treadmill. All right, let's spin this guy around so we can see the belt adjustment area. So turn on your conveyor, but not the drum, and you can put that to max speed. Any adjustment that you make is going to be on the built-in mechanism here that both will tension and track things. The big mistake I see people make is they'll do a tracking adjustment and then they won't let it go around enough times, and they'll keep adjusting it and they'll just fight this left and right all day long. So what you want to do is make a little chalk tick mark on there and watch that belt go around a full 4 times with any small adjustment. Let time pass and 4 revolutions go by before you adjust it again. Little mark there as a reference. The other mistake I see people making is they have it perfectly centered and tracking, obsessively so, but there's not enough tension, and that can create an issue where the belt slips on the roller and create this whole gouging issue that we're having. So I'll make slight adjustments with the onboard wrench, and you can see how that'll affect both the tension and the tracking simultaneously. I'll loosen up this screw that's on the open end of the drum. And already I can see that that's too loose on this side now. There's not enough tension, although it hasn't drastically affected the tracking yet. There's the 4th revolution, and now I can see that the tracking is off. It moved towards the side that I loosened. So I'll tighten that up a bit at a time, just making sure that that bolt doesn't spin as I make that adjustment. In terms of the tension, you shouldn't be able to easily stop the belt with one hand. And after 4 revolutions, my tension is good, but my tracking is not centered yet. So now I'll do a little combination between tightening this side and loosening the other. If it doesn't want to track over for you, just loosen up both sides completely and you can shift the belt manually and restart. Okay, looks like that's staying reasonably centered, and I have no loose spots, and I can't stop the belt by hand, so everything looks good. So the last 2 steps are to do with the infeed and outfeed support tables. So if you don't have that accessory, you're done. You don't need to worry about it. But basically you want to set the height of those tables even with the bed of the machine. And then for the final step, we'll just add some lubrication or wax to kind of decrease friction there. So use a good straight edge to check and see where you're at. The goal is just to set the tables dead even with the bed of the machine. So there's 8mm Allen bolts and then smaller 3mm jack screws. You'll use those to make your adjustments and complete that on all 4 corners. And there's a little bit of back and forth with it, but once you have it where you want it, just go ahead and tighten in those larger fasteners. There's also a secondary height adjustment here if you can't accomplish everything you want with the jack screws alone. Set that where I want it and tighten it back up. The last step is to wax your support tables to decrease sliding friction, and I'll show you a couple products I like to use for that. Glide Coat is by far my favorite product to wax up the beds of my machines, so I'll link up to that in the description, but if you don't have any on hand, Johnson's Paste Wax is a good alternative. And I actually like to apply this to the rag rather than the machine surface itself. Coat that liberally, let it dry like a paste wax, and then buff it off. So here I can actually see and feel some of those offending gouges before the tune-up, so we'll run it through a few times and see how we've done. It takes a certain light just to even see them, but boy, once that finish goes on, they're really visible. The other test I had in mind is dropping this fast lever, and I'll sand that panel halfway off the open end of the drum just to simulate a two-pass method and make sure that we've eliminated that line or ridge we had running the length of the grain. So doing that drum alignment procedure really got rid of that ridge that was kind of vexing me on my last couple projects, so that adjustment is worth doing for sure. But if it ever pops up occasionally, here's a tip you can do without adjusting your machine. Just keep that fast lever in the down position and flip your wide panel one more time for a third pass, but without lowering the depth of cut, and that'll smooth out or feather any of the rough edges from that ridge. So it looks like we've solved both our gouging problem and that longitudinal line problem we had from the drum adjustment. So two birds with one stone there. Let me just turn the light down a little bit as we did before to see if any defects pop out. No, it looks really good. Everything's coming out nice and smooth, so I'd say problem solved on these. So those 5 things are pretty easy to check once you know what you're looking for. Down in the description box, I'll have for you my video resources like how to enclose the lower base on this 1938 drum sander, as well as a link to the machine. If you're shopping for a new drum sander, this 1938 it's a good mix of, good size capacity and not too big for a medium-sized shop. So those resources will be down there for you. And if you like today's topic, give me a quick thumbs up, and I'd certainly appreciate it if you'd consider subscribing to the channel. I'd love to have you on board. So anyway,